believe it or not, there are Tim Pool fans that are like centrist leaning or not really super hard on the right or on the left. Like a lot of more like center leaning, open minded people, unironically, do watch Tim Pool because he's so huge. He's such a large political content creator and news guy. Yeah, let's talk about what just happened. I'll go ahead and I'll take off my headphones. I'm really sorry I couldn't talk as much, and I'm sorry for the points where I paused and talked. If that upset you, but I didn't want to just steal the content basically and just restream it. That's not my goal here. For one, I was going to watch this anyway, and I figured I might as well watch it with you guys because many of you don't want to go sit in Tim Pool's stream with Nazi Nick Fuentes fans spamming the chat to debate Nick Fuentes. I imagine not many of you wanted that. So we're going to talk about this. Vosh won. I can't know what happens in the member version. I'm sure I will find out eventually. I certainly think that Vosh won. I was high for most of that, to be completely fair.
What the dog doing?
Oh, I was high for most of it, but I still remember most of everything, and I absolutely think that Vosh won. It wasn't as much of a debate as it was a conversation, but there was definitely contention there, and argumentation happened. I think Vosh came off very well, especially rhetorically. It was also very clear that he's been researching these topics. I was very impressed with that. That was very obvious he's researched it. The only downside is, and I hate this about the way Tim Pool does his show, Vosh and Tim Pool both should have had laptops in front of them. It still pisses me off that Tim Pool doesn't do this, where he and his other two people have laptops in front of them. But yeah, I didn't like that because they should be able to research things live. The really good example of that was towards the beginning. Charlie Kirk just outright lied about who invented the mRNA vaccines. It is a well-known lie. When I looked up our mRNA vaccine inventor, what came up was debunking the claim that the guy that he said invented those vaccines invented them. That was the first thing that came up, so you know this is a popular conservative talking point. Charlie Kirk has probably repeated this in the past, and it's already been debunked by fact-checking sites and what have you. Wait, Vosh wasn't allowed his laptop? They don't have... I have no doubt in my mind that if Vosh was allowed to have a computer in front of him, he would turn it down. Destiny, Vosh, every other guest that's been on the show, I don't believe has ever had like anything so they can fact check things live in front of them. I think it's a big part of why Tim only does these things in person as well, because if you do it over a video call, you know, you're at your computer, you can fact check things that Tim says. And when Vosh and Tim Pool talk directly, Tim lied a lot. Tim lied definitively, just outright lies a lot. He lied about things that he'd said or done or hadn't said or done. So that whole thing with Charlie Kirk lying there was crazy. Oh my God. This is a good one. Okay, this is a really good one. The Charlie Kirk saying this isn't a slavery country because, 9 out of the 13 or 8 out of the 13, something like that out of the 13 colonies had abolished slavery by the time the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence was written. Can't remember which it was that he said. And that makes our country not a slavery country. 9 out of 13? Yeah. That is fucking ridiculous on so many levels. For starters, any country that allows slavery is a country of slavery, okay? And he brought that up as a counter to the argument from Vosh that, 1 in 6 people in America was a slave? Charlie Kirk's response to that was only a few states had slavery legalized, colonies, but states, right? So that was really stupid. It was a stupid response. It was a stupid response to a good argument, and it was stupid for 2 reasons. How the fuck do you have 62K views, man? 62K, you mean subs? Because I'm a good YouTuber, James Lee. Stay mad. Yeah, dude. Whew. Yeah, the interesting thing about that discussion is that This is something I've noticed conservatives do a lot. Conservatives are very scared to talk about class because they're convinced that they're convinced that socialism or any class analysis is this bad, evil, communist, socialist, anti-American, yada yada yada. But if you try to make the argument that racial injustice exists in this country and that there is a problem and that there is wealth disparity, a very problematic disparity of wealth and income inequality between black and white people in this country, it is wild that they will shy away from discussing that and go straight to the class thing. It's about class. It's actually a class thing, not a race thing. It's the Nazbol vortex thing. We've talked about it before. Vosh could have pushed more buttons on Kirk's fake populism. That's true. That's true, definitely. Wow, you were high. Vosh said the U.S. was a slave state, and that's what Kirk was refusing. Still a BS refutation. You were? Wow, you were high. Yeah, I'm high. That's exactly what... Wait, what? Are you trying to fuck with me? What are you talking about?
What the dog doing?
Vosh mentioned earlier he brought a Mac. I am betting Tim didn't let him use it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm interested to hear what Vosh has to say about that because I'm very confident that Tim Pool doesn't allow guests to have any computers to be able to fact check things live.
No, I'm joking.
In a way.
So I've got a question for Charlie.
Sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar. Are you familiar with Alden's theory?
No.
You're not? Oh, okay. Then I guess I won't answer that question then.
No.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think Vosh did really well. I mean, as well as you can. I think Tim Pool is an okay moderator, but at the same time, I highly disagree with the way that Tim Pool runs his show. If Vosh was, we can't see because of the camera, but it doesn't look like Vosh had a laptop in front of him. I feel like he would have very quickly checked that claim that Charlie Kirk made before about the inventor of the mRNA vaccine. That came to me immediately as something I should fact check, and I immediately, seconds it took me to find that it was a lie. I feel like if Vosh had a computer in front of him, he would have been on it a lot more, looking into these things live. Yeah, I don't know. Holy shit, Tim Pool fact checked that. The thing about the mRNA vaccine, did he? I saw no point where Charlie Kirk was called out for lying about that. Tim Pool's a liar, terrible mod by default. I think moderating this discussion, he did all right, frankly. I think he did all right moderating this discussion. He did a decent job of making sure that there wasn't much in the way of interruptions. If someone wanted to speak and then the other person tried to talk over the other person, then Tim let them finish and then moved on. Yeah, I think overall he did okay as a mod. He did all right. Yeah. Yeah, he did fact check at Xander Hall, but he didn't linger on it. Really? Huh. Must have been too stoned to remember. Or I didn't hear it. It's possible I was reading chat and I didn't hear it. I think I've heard Vosh say that he prefers rhetoric over hard instant fact checks. That's true. I'm interested where that could have devolved if Vosh had called that out there. I feel like it would have devolved to him and Charlie Kirk arguing over whether or not the source debunking it was trustworthy or something. We doing media share, Xander Hall? We can do media share. Yeah, we can do media share. Let me just finish talking about this first. Charlie Kirk's tone came off as very bitchy and whiny, is something that I noticed as well. He came off as very, very whiny in his voice and tone, which was I think could be a little off-putting to people who are believe it or not, there are Tim Pool fans that are centrist-leaning or not really super hard on the right or on the left. A lot of more center-leaning, open-minded people unironically do watch Tim Pool because he's so huge. He's such a large political content creator and news guy that I think a lot of people who aren't fully bought into the right-wing rhetoric very likely might have been moved more in Vosh's direction just because of the fact that Charlie Kirk came off as so whiny. You know what I mean? Oh, holy shit, Delaney. Yeah, a long time no see. I think the last time I saw you in my chat was 2019. Holy shit, welcome back. Good to see you. Wow, long time viewer. Delaney Artist in chat was the creator of some of the first channel art I ever
Punk
had. I think
has donated $5
Trace and Delaney Artist are two of my of the artists in my community that made some of my oldest stuff, like emotes, thumbnail stuff, and Trace made my old. Remember, I had this really nice. This is one of the things I miss about being Pig Puncher. I had this starting soon screen that was me floating in a pool of soy. That was made by Trace. I really liked that one. Yeah, it's so cool having all the old artists in the chat. I haven't seen you guys in a while. But Xander Hall, what do the dog be doing? I don't know what the dog doing. I don't know. It's still on the website. Yeah, I think the that art might still be around. Yeah, you guys liked me before I was cool. Yeah, if there's one change that I would make to this debate on Vosh's part, there were some points where Tim Pool and Charlie Kirk brought up something that I feel like it would have been best for Vosh to pivot away from. Pivoting is usually like a sneaky debate tactic, but I think it can be a good idea if you're not trying to sneak it in. If you're like, well, this is dumb. This is a dumb thing to even be talking about. It's completely unrelated to this discussion. I'd rather talk about this. I think that can be useful at times, though it may seem like a cop-out. Because there were some points there where it was like they were trying to get Vosh stuck in the weeds and like very, very esoteric philosophy. Like about the whole when does life begin? And like really trying to drill down on when life begins. Like there's no answer to that question. That is literally probably the number one topic besides why are we here in philosophy, and no one agrees on it. The entire realm of philosophy is based on that concept, on that question. And the reason why philosophy is a thing is because there's no objective answer to that. It's all subjective, as everyone has a different opinion on it, right? But even then, that's such a small gripe. I think overall, just especially the beginning part with vaccines, I think something a lot of people might complain about it will probably be the fact that Vosh didn't call out Charlie Kirk as being an anti-vaxxer right there and then. A lot of people that watch that are on the left that probably already don't like Vosh and don't understand how you engage in a conversation and do it in a way that's good optics. I think they're going to be complaining about Vosh not saying, this is anti-vaxxer rhetoric. And the reason I don't think Vosh wanted to do that, and I think this is probably the best way to go, is because that is a condemnation. You're condemning the person you're talking to, and that almost comes off as a no-no in debate to most people. You never want to say you're a bad person to the person you're debating. You want to stay away from language like that. You want to make the audience think your debate opponent is wrong, not an asshole or a bad person or rude or mean. That's not what you want. You want them to be wrong. But I think a lot of people will call out Vosh and get upset that he didn't just blow up on Charlie there. It's one thing that I know is going to happen, and we're already seeing a little bit of it, is woke scolds on Twitter are canceling Vosh for platforming Charlie Kirk. Anyone who thinks this
What the dog doing?
Nice
is
debate.
fucking stupid.
Vosh crushed it. Gotta donate a
Like
bit
embarrassingly
more. Since I met
stupid.
Eden's parents through
Tim
the stream
Pool is
and
one
had
of,
some
if
good
not the
sex with
largest
them.
political news
Sadly,
channel
they're
on
banned now,
YouTube.
Peepo
Charlie
sad.
Kirk is a
Bye-bye,
large,
troll.
well-known
07. Enjoy the
right-wing
video.
political pundit. The idea that that Vosh was platforming them is so stupid, especially the fact that Vosh didn't. Not to mention, Vosh is the one trending on Twitter right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Vosh isn't platforming anybody. Vosh was being platformed. Not to mention, Vosh isn't even streaming it on his end. So the people that are seeing and learning of Charlie Kirk would be people who have heard of Vosh and go out of their way to see Vosh debate this person on Tim Pool's stream. Or on my stream, or Demon Mama's stream, or whoever. Destiny is probably also watching it. Very, very stupid. Those people are to be mocked
What the dog doing?
and made fun of. the people complaining about that. Anytime someone makes the argument about debating, and they say you're just platforming that person, get the fuck out of here. I actually saw there were people on Twitter earlier saying that this is toxic debate pro culture. Debates don't do anything to improve the discourse or whatever. You know, like I don't know. Also, is it like, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously there's an election happening right now, right? People are also tracking how Nina Turner's doing in her race. Was there not also an election happening when Tim Pool and Vosh talked previously? Last time? Why is it that every time Vosh and Tim Pool has Vosh on the show, there's an election happening? Nina Turner just lost, sadly. I didn't think she was going to win. But regardless, if I had a nickel for every time Tim Pool had Vosh on during some kind of election, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't much, but it's weird that it happened twice. You know what I mean? Yes, I know Vosh is trending. We just talked about it. The left is determined to lose to overbooking. To lose to overbooking. What's that mean? Maybe I'm too high. The debates don't do anything is total BS. We'd still be chuds right now if people like Destiny and Vosh didn't exist. Yeah, debates are not really valuable for like coming to the correct conclusion on an issue. Debates are a rhetorical tactic used to convince and empower supporters of a certain figure who's debating. That's what they're for. Each side of the debate either wants to move the opponent's like fans or supporters over to their side and reinforce the conviction of their own supporters, and that's true of both ends. And there's a lot of there's a lot of use to that. I think the right especially sort of has a because of Ben Shapiro mostly, and to a degree Jordan Peterson sort of has a monopoly on debate bros. The lefty debate bro thing is still pretty new. Sam Cedar, Destiny. Sam Cedar and Destiny have been around a good while, but their popularity really picked up more recently. Obviously, you've got me and Vosh, and you've got Demon Mama, and you've got the Surfs. You've got Shark. You've got plenty of people who do live stream debate content on the left, but that's still a pretty new thing in the grand scheme of things. The right for a long time has had a monopoly on being the debate bros, and for a while, the right and just a lot of general political discussion really held prop debate up on a pedestal, because the idea was that if you have good ideas, then you'll be willing to defend them in a debate. An actual Jake, what have you. Yeah. Denims as well. She does that too, I think. She does debates. Shark's really cool. It's really sad to see so many people, mostly on the left, decrying left-wing debate bros. It's really sad because I think the left, having more debate-oriented content creators, did a lot to start to flip the general cultural direction of the internet in a more left-leaning way. You know what I mean? Sean does not do debate content. No, he's an example of a left-wing content creator who is anti-debate bro. People like what Sean's a good example. Yeah, people like that bitching about left-wing figures debating right-wing figures is very frustrating. Really sad. Sucks. Sean is British. True. Yeah. Sean's opinion should be disregarded right off the bat. Yeah, I think overall, you're probably not going to see a lot of Tim Pool fans denouncing conservatism, denouncing Charlie Kirk, nor are you going to see this among Charlie Kirk fans then moving over to Vosh's community. I think what you're probably going to see is people on the left that are fans of Vosh, that are fans of me, that are on our side are going to say Vosh did really well, and then people on the right, it seems, and this is the good thing, are going to be saying that Charlie Kirk is a tradcon cuck and did bad against Vosh because Charlie Kirk is not a real conservative, is what you're going to see. Going off of what we've seen from 4chan already as a reaction to this, it just seems like the Nazis and the more right-leaning people are going to disown Charlie Kirk and start to complain about how they brought on a bad conservative, someone who's not really even all that conservative, to debate Vosh, because And they're going to try to twist that as a way of saying Vosh is a bad debater because Charlie Kirk isn't a real conservative. That's what I've been seeing. Exactly, you, Vosh, and other lefty debaters get so much shit from the left, while at least in my opinion you're doing so much more towards moving people over than anyone who's submerged fully in bread-pilled leftist stuff. So really, it's BS to say y'all don't work your asses off to make people come here, and I love you all for that. Thank you. Yeah, something that I think is really interesting is being a debate bro, especially on the left. Debate is, and this is something that I also that dips into the topic broadly, is Vosh is a very good debater, no doubt. He and he showed that off very well here today, I think. Vosh has what? So he has like a sociology degree. He has a public speaking degree, I believe. Communications, he's like a minor in communications, I think he said. I think that's what he told me. Minor in communications, has a lot of just general public speaking experience because of college and other stuff that he did. And then he came to YouTube and started doing debating. If you look at Destiny was arguing with people and engaging in blood sports arguments and debates, not necessarily even about politics, but like in game lobbies on stream going back to 2011 and shit. And then he started doing like the debating stuff. Demon Mama is, has a good amount of experience debating prior to doing YouTube as well. So something that I think is really interesting is how a lot of I feel like this is sort of a barrier of entry for a lot of people who might want to get into the debate stuff. And I've noticed this is a complaint from a lot of people on the left. And I've gotten shit for this too, no doubt. I am most certainly not as good of a debater as Destiny and Vosh, purely out of practice, experience, and knowledge. It is almost self-evident that someone like a 22-year-old who didn't go to college and started doing debate stuff 2 years ago wouldn't be on this level. But I find it very interesting because I know people who want to do what I do, what Vosh does, what Destiny does, what all these debate left-wing content creators do, but are scared because the left is not fond of debate bros for starters, but even the parts of the left that are fond of debate bros will turn on you the second you fuck up. You ever notice that? A lot of people, there are people who will allow you to be a debate bro and they won't shit on you for doing it, but the second you fuck up and they don't like it, then they don't really like you anymore. And I've seen that a lot, and I know other people have as well. And I feel like that's a barrier of entry for a lot of people. I've talked I know people who want to get into doing like debates and stuff, and they're like, yeah, but man, what if I fuck up one debate? And then everyone thinks some shit, and then, no one likes me anymore. And it's like, fuck, you're kind of right, Your most popular debate defines whether or not you're a good debater. I think a lot of the reason why Destiny is viewed as a good debater is probably because of the JonTron debate, because he did so well, and that's his most high-profile debate, and that sort of set the precedent for his career. I always wonder about that. So I'm wondering if this debate, how much attention Vosh's debate here is going to get, and I wonder if this will be like his biggest thing for a while at least, and I wonder if this will set the precedent for how people view Vosh's debate skills, depending on how much this particular video spreads,